home office in Maynard, Massachusetts. Is it Maynard?
Yeah.
Massachusetts. This is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 260. See how I saved?
Wouldn't the home office be your area?
I don't know. We record here.
But this is the studio.
This is the studio.
You could
Oh,
say
so
the home office would be in Chelmsford.
The home office is in Wahoo, Nebraska. Nebraska. Wahoo, Nebraska.
Nebraska. That's where
Nebraska.
That's where the Brassieres lives. How did we get the title like in the first minute?
So, Steve, I got a bone to pick. You're Steve and I'm Chris.
I'm Steve and you're Chris.
Yeah. Not really a bone to pick, because a bone
with
to pick,
me,
not with you. And there was no bone in my food. I wanted to specify that I want to pick a metaphorical bone. I did not have to pick any bones out of my food at McDonald's, which some would say
was it like some sinewy meat?
I have had sinewy. I'm a fan of the chicken sandwich as a thing, not just at McDonald's but other places. But
like a chicken breast sandwich,
yeah,
like where you would put your Nebraska on.
Yeah, yes. But I have had to stop ordering them everywhere because I have.
For those of you who weren't in the room, which is almost all of you, except for Chris, I put my hands in front of my chest like I had big boobs.
Yeah.
When I was saying chicken breast.
Chicken breast. Yeah. Yeah. Are you implying that you're a chicken?
No, I'm not Marty McFly.
Chicken.
You remember that from the first movie?
What? So I have a bone to pick with McDonald's.
With McFly and McDonald's.
With McFly and McDonald's. And it is this. Now I know you're not a soda drinker.
I'm drinking soda water right now.
But have you, and especially not in the last few years, like a traditional soda water for sure. Yeah. But not like a Coca-Cola.
I don't drink diet soda because I'm not a big fan of the artificial sweetener.
Right.
So
and you don't drink. You're obviously off of sugar as part of the keto.
Being on a keto. Yeah.
But you've been to the movies. You've been.
Yeah, I have. I have not wanted to leave the theater and pissed in my giant cup. Wait, no, I've never done that.
And there are these things at the movies, and at Wendy's and Five Guys and Burger King, called the Coca-Cola Freestyle machine.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Okay, so these things, back when I ran a pop culture blog,
one of my biggest complaints of those.
Yeah.
Was there is not, and it very well could easily just be like, what do we got to do to program this? An okay soda option.
Right. Yes. I remember we have talked about these before at some point in the past because I remember this has come up. Yes, there should be an okay soda option.
Because it's like I think okay soda was like regular Coca-Cola cola with along with some orange, maybe some grape, some other flavors, and those all those flavors are in those fucking machines.
Right. So you just need to be able to put the little program.
WTF, Coca-Cola? Where's I'll have a cheat day the next time I go to the movies.
Yeah.
Or wherever, if it has one of these machines.
Yeah.
And I will drink a small amount of okay soda if they put it in there.
You hear that, Coca-Cola Corporation? You got a customer in waiting.
Well, they're already getting my money. I'm just getting soda water from there, or unsweetened iced tea from their machine, as opposed to So they're probably loving me right now because all they have to do is provide me with soda with bubbles, as opposed to the minuscule amounts of syrup that go along with it.
Okay, so here's I'm getting closer and closer to the bone I want to pick, and maybe it's not necessarily just the fault of McDonald's. Maybe it is also the fault of the Coca-Cola Corporation. We'll leave that up to Steve because he is the arbiter.
I am the authority.
Yes, you are. So it's been years since these Coca-Cola Freestyle machines first started showing up. Back in like 2008 to 2010 or 11, I ran a blog called Geek Force 5. And
which was also a magazine.
It turned into a magazine later. Yep. And I wrote about the freestyle when it was a brand new idea. Linked to a video. Everyone was psyched about it. And they didn't really start to filter in too many places at first. The movie theaters, I think, were the first ones. And then gradually, all of the burger joints but one have gone over to the Coca-Cola Freestyle. There was even a miniature Coca-Cola Freestyle machine at the upscale pizza joint.
And at Mar-a-Lago because of the president's small hands.
Yes.
He doesn't like big buttons.
He doesn't like big butts?
We know he doesn't like big buttons.
Oh, okay. Well,
make his hands look smaller.
So there was even one at this pizza place on Mass Ave, although they eventually got rid of it and went not back to Coca-Cola, but back to some sort of local soda. Would it be a soda brewery? I don't know. A local soda company, and did a fountain.
Soda jerkery, I think.
A soda jerkery, yeah. But the McDonald's Corporation has never, as far as I can tell to this point, has never gone ahead and installed one of these Coca-Cola Freestyle machines. I think, and I don't want to get ahead of myself because we'll maybe talk about my vacation later. The Disney Corporation, as far as I can tell, has not installed the Coca-Cola Freestyle machines, but the Universal Corporation, back a year or two ago when I went to their theme park, had installed the Coca-Cola Freestyle machines.
Did you pick up a little extra cash from Coca-Cola? Because
no,
I don't know how many times you've said Coca-Cola Freestyle machine in the last 20 seconds, but it was a fucking lot.
Where's my check?
Yeah, where's my where's my half of this cake, Chris? Or soda?
So this is what I find myself wondering: is this a situation where the now I feel self-conscious about saying their name.
The Coca-Cola Freestyle machine from Coca-Cola Corporation,
where the sugar water company. Yeah. Where is it a situation where they have basically said, if you want to have one of these machines, you're going to pay a different rate, and therefore companies that are long entrenched with Coke, like Disney, like McDonald's, are like, we'll keep having your little soda fountains, your regular ones here, but we are not paying for that giant ass machine, and we're not paying whatever the rates are for the various syrups and things that go into it. And this all came up because the Westford McDonald's Sans drive-through, because Westford's fucking stupid.
I don't think it's stupid. It's just that they want you, if you're gonna buy garbage food and put it in your body, they want you to get out of your fucking car and get it.
But you could get pharmaceuticals through a drive-through just down the street,
right? Because a lot of people that get pharmaceuticals are elderly.
Yeah, well, at any rate, so
and elderly people don't have to get McDonald's.
I don't have any other. If I'm coming here, I don't really have any other, and even this McDonald's is out of the way, but I don't have any other options. So I go to this one even though it sucks. And today they sucked because they had not refilled the carbonator, the CO2 cartridges on either of their two.
I'm the carbonator.
Either of their two soda machines. So there's like 3 or 4 of us standing around like, are they going to do it? Somebody had gone up and asked, and eventually I just ended up with flat
you son of a Coke. Fizzy bitch.
I was very upset. Now it's not the same level of upset as I've been when I've gone to the movie theater where they have the biggest variety. So you're right to think that OK Soda would be at the movie theater first, because the ones at Burger King, Wendy's, Five Guys has almost as many options as the movie theater. The movie theater has the most options, the most flavors and whatever. When they are out of the Diet Barks cream soda orange variety, the orange creamsicle variety, that makes me very, very sad because that's one of the only places I can get it. When Five Guys is out of it, that's especially maddening because at the movie theater they have a whole bunch of them. So if one of them's out, you can generally find it at one of the other ones. But Five Guys generally just has the two, and those always seem to go out at around the same time. And
so what is it like Barks Diet Barks root beer?
Well, it's not root. It's Barks cream soda, which you can't find that many places. But it is the only
with
way
a little bit of orange in it, so it tastes like a creamsicle.
Yeah. Have you ever had you're not a soda, but Stewart's. I don't know if they're a local company.
No, I think they have that all over the place.
Yeah. So Stewart's has an orange and cream soda.
Wasn't there a department store called Stewart's?
There was, not spelled the same way.
Oh, okay.
I think Stewart's, the department store, was with a U, and Stewart's the.
I'm gonna have to get a fucking Stewart's T-shirt now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you got to get a Caldor one. You got a Caldor?
I got Caldor. Okay. I need to get an Ames and now Stewart's. I forgot about Stewart's.
Stewart's, you gotta get it done. Get it done.
All right.
Gotta get a Kmart one too, because they're going out of business.
No. They're still around. So
well,
I want it like
the one down the street closing.
Yeah, well, they're not all closing.
Okay, all right.
So I think I think my goal with all these old department stores or old store T-shirts is if there's a photograph of me, I want it to be like, when was this fucking taken?
Okay, I see what you're doing there.
What year was this taken?
You could also use some fucking Irishman technology and de-age yourself. So you could put yourself.
Chris, I'm fucking ageless. I don't need to do any of that.
Okay, whatever you say.
No, but like I was thinking I'm going to branch out maybe. And then I was thinking about maybe getting a Whalen Park T-shirt.
Oh, for a whale of a time.
Right.
Yeah. That's pour one out.
That's getting local for you. Like the I think it was in Lunenburg.
I think so. Yep.
Lunenburg, Massachusetts had a not very large amusement park called Whalen Park. It's where I think the Purity Supreme outing was every year, and that's why I think we went to Whalen Park more than Canopy Lake when I was really young.
Yeah. My dad's company. My dad worked for Digital, and their corporate outing was at Canopy Lake. So we went there a bunch. Somebody in the family must have had. We did go to Whalen.
I think Whalen was cheaper.
Yeah.
Because it had like the about to fall apart coaster, which it never did, and like so I guess I could have gone. Like that was one of my biggest regrets in like the early part of this century was not going to Whalen Park the year that it closed, and I think they were selling like admission for like $5 or something like that. So
that would I forget when that was. Maybe I was in
2000, 2001.
Okay, so it's just after college. Yeah, I miss things like that. I mean, we'll maybe eventually talk about my my vacation. I am a bit of a theme park snob, but
you would have been like, this is the best park ever, the Whalen Park.
No, but I have fond memories of Whalen and although very vague memories, and of Canopy when I was a kid. It's only my like memories of Canopy as an adult that are kind of like, what the fuck is this?
I remember we went into I think it's called the Cyclodrome or whatever.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, we went. I think it was one of the Fright Fests, and they didn't have like all the flashing lights and whatnot inside.
Oh, that would be weird.
Yeah, and so the guy that was basically it was the depression ride, which so basically,
oh no,
we're sitting in because
just for people who have never been on it, describe what kind of ride is it?
It's what they would call the mixer.
Okay.
At a carnival.
Okay.
So basically, it's like 4 seats, and they're all spinning around.
Yeah, they're attached. The 4 seats are attached to an arm apiece, right?
Yeah, and I think there's 3. There's 3 arms, so there's like I believe that's about how many seats that are in it, and they're all spinning around. And for some unknown reason, this is a spinning ride that tends not to get me sick. Which is very, very odd because most things that are spinning, maybe it's the way that it spins.
It probably is
on the 2 axes that makes it so I don't feel sick when I'm on it, or as sick as I would if it was on a Turkish twist or something like that.
Yeah, I have that problem to a lesser extent with like teacup kind of rides, but some of them.
No, teacups will get me fucking nauseous as hell.
That's when, like some of them will get me and others won't, and I have a hard time figuring out same thing.
I think it's just spinning, like
yeah.
But since this is spinning, like I said, on like two axes,
Right.
So it's maybe balancing out the spinning.
Yeah.
But so basically, what's happening is without the light show or the like the strobing effects or whatever else, which they warn you about.
Yeah.
So like if you do have any sort of like seizure issues, this is not a ride you should go on.
Right.
But since this isn't happening, every once in a while, you're getting launched forward and seeing firsthand the depression of the man who's running this ride.
Oh, that's the worst.
And so it's just like, whoa, and he's just got this dreary ass look on his face, and but I mean the music's still loud and whatever, but it all you can see is just like the pain that is this guy's life, and you're like, wow, I never realized that depression the ride.
I wonder. This is a really. The question in my brain is, I wonder how often people manning those rides at a place like Canopy actually get to swap out. Because I would imagine that part of what makes it depressing, if you are a person who tends towards that, or boring, is that you're standing there watching, doing this ride like for hours on end. And I feel like I wasn't paying that much attention to this when I was at Disney. I feel like one of the things that they're doing there is swapping people.
So their souls don't get quite as broken.
Yeah, I think people are swapping from position to position. So you're not sitting there pressing the button to start the teacups or the whatever for hours on end. You're there for maybe an hour or something, and then you move to another position on the ride, and then maybe you even cycle out and go someplace else in the same land.
Or the Scrambler, I think it would be called at the carnival too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Mixer is what they called it in the Dead Milkmen song.
Ah.
But Bill Jr., he was a daredevil just like his old man.
So I think that was all I wanted to say about the Coca-Cola and the McDonald's. Which
you're mad about the machines not existing.
Well, so I guess I never got to my point. My point is just that. Yeah, no, I did get to this point. Is McDonald's or Coca-Cola holding out for a better deal?
A hero?
They might be like good old Bonnie there. They might be holding out for more money, or to pay less money, depending on which side of it you're talking about. But it just seems like it is such a sophisticated and forward-looking machine that I don't understand why places like McDonald's and Disney aren't putting it in there. Disney maybe a little bit. When I think back to Universal, those machines were all over the park, but they weren't in the Harry Potter section.
They had the butterbeer ones.
You could get butterbeer. You could get in the Harry Potter sections. You could only get things that, in terms of drinks, that would
be more magical.
That would feel appropriate.
That would be like the turf drinks. Yes, and it's just a bummer, like that people like J.K. Rowling and the guy that created the IT crowd are kind of of that mentality.
It is. It's a real bummer because I think Rowling created, one of the most memorable fictional worlds that we've gotten in the past century. I mean, it's up there with Tolkien. Like it's not Tolkien, but yeah, and not that Tolkien didn't have his own. I'm sure that I haven't done a ton of studies on why Tolkien sucks, but I'm sure there are reasons. There's my other bone to pick is I went on the internet more often than normal this week and just discovered
oh boy
that that everything sucks. There's always a reason. So when I think Kirk Douglas died this week, or within the last 2 weeks.
It couldn't have been Kirk Cameron, could it?
No. And of course, over on the Facebook, everyone's all kinds of sad about Kirk Douglas. Over on the Twitter,
you mean 100-something-year-old man dies?
Yeah.
Oh golly.
Over on the Twitter, people are celebrating, and they're celebrating with the hashtag justice for Natalie Wood. And like, what does this even mean? And so I dig a little bit deeper, and apparently at some point, Natalie Wood accused Kirk Douglas of raping her, and that has been, so people are there sort of celebrating that the guy died, and I don't want to say that they're wrong for celebrating. It was just one in a pattern of things these past 2 or 3 weeks that we haven't recorded, where I'd be like, oh wow, that's too bad, or that's whatever, and then you go to some other corner of the internet and they're like, this is awesome that fucking asshole died.
I keep on saying it. The human experiment was a nice try.
Yes.
And if we get another 4 years of dipshit, I mean, I think
I'm not allowed to talk about that.
The escalation of authoritarianism will probably be double, if not triple, right. And I mean, we can take some solace that we're Caucasian straight white men.
Yes.
And then hopefully we won't get our rather liberal views will kind of be glossed over by the fact that,
Yeah. They'll find something wrong with us eventually.
Well, I mean, we are not Christians, so maybe
that is true.
That is the thing that will get us put in a camp or something like that.
Yeah. The atheist camp.
Yeah.
Or agnostic.
I'm more agnostic.
So the atheist agnostic camp.
Yeah.
You think they'll give us each separate ones, or will we?
No, I'll probably be in the same camp.
Okay. Yeah. The non-believer or the.
Yeah, the non-believer camp.
Non-believer camp.
I hope we get in the same bunk.
I mean, well, of course, we can avoid that fate only if we vote for Bernie Sanders. That's the other thing I have heard this week.
There's a nice flurry going on.
There's a nice flurry going out there. Sorry, don't want to get you started.
Yeah, I mean, I like Bernie Sanders. I do not like the people that like Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, I find the whole thing to be the whole primary season to be insufferable.
Right. I wish Elizabeth Warren was doing better, because she's my gal. In this race. I made no secrets of it.
Oh, my dad made no secrets of the fact that he would not vote for her if she weren't the last person on Earth yesterday, when somebody dared to call up and say, "Can Elizabeth Warren count on your vote?" I didn't hear that part of the conversation, but I imagine that's
she's Pocahontas, and that's the whole thing.
Oh God, I can't even get started with him, because I don't think he has any rational.
He doesn't. He heard Fox News say that she's bad.
Yeah,
and now she's bad.
Right. Yeah.
It's something that we should have nipped in the bud back in the 90s when Fox News was created.
Yeah.
Was if you're going to have like more editorial, and I think this works for any news organization, not just the extreme right that is Fox News. If you're going to call yourself a news organization, you need to follow the any sort of you need to follow journalism ethics and whatnot, and not just be editorializing constantly, which is what you do when you have a 24-hour news network. Right. Because if you are just reporting the things that are happening,
you don't need a
24-hour news network.
Yeah, it's I mean, cable eventually led to interesting things when we broke away from cable. So Netflix and HBO's streaming stuff, and all of the sort of streaming services, which eventually I think came out of cable. But cable itself, I think, was one of the worst things to ever happen to humanity.
Because the people that are still watching it are the people that are still voting.
Yeah.
Or the people that are voting or consistently vote.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that are watching this fucking like brainwashing network.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't watch. I like, you know, if I am going to watch the news, I will probably turn to CNN.
Yeah, yeah.
If I'm going to a cable network, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So
the New Hampshire is on Tuesday. Is that right?
Yeah, this coming Tuesday. Yep.
And then are we
Vermin Supreme, baby?
When are we? Are we
Super Tuesday? I think it's in March.
Oh, okay. For some reason I was starting to get stuff, and I was like, "Are we that soon?" And I was like, "I don't think we're that soon."
We're the day that I think like a lot of people drop out.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's
That's
like,
what I
there's a
recall from
lot of
last
primaries that day.
Yeah. Wish they would have dropped out sooner. It's, some of them. It is. Well, I watched the Saturday Night Live cold open from last night, which was the Democratic debates. And the introduction was, "Now welcome our future MSNBC contributors," which made me laugh a lot because it's sadly probably true. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, like,
I'm not going to say anything else about it because you banned me rightly from saying anything about how I think the election is.
Well, you can maybe have a little hope in your soul.
I could. That it is possible that I could. I don't.
But yeah, like just anybody, if you're out there listening and you have like a any sort of common sense in your body,
yeah,
do not, under any circumstances, vote for Donald Trump. You can vote for a third party. You can vote for the Democratic candidate.
Yeah,
but just don't vote for that man.
I hope that they're listening.
Please do. All right, let's change the subject.
Let's change the subject. We got 3 possible directions we can go. One is my vacation, which we've talked about. One of them is a little play I went to go see, and another one involves.
I want to hear about the play.
Another one involves a certain appearance by.
There's nothing fun. It's just just
no.
aggravating to us.
Well,
we have mice.
You have mice. Okay.
Have
you named any of them?
No.
Ben, Mickey, Minnie?
No. They're in the house.
Yeah.
I think we got exterminators, and I hope this doesn't make people upset that might be listening. But I don't want
Yeah, you don't want
I don't want rodents in my house.
You don't want Vermin Supreme.
Yeah. No, I do want Vermin Supreme. He actually, in the general, I might vote for him because I know whoever the Democratic candidate is going to carry Massachusetts handily.
Oh, okay.
So I might just vote for Vermin Supreme
just
for funsies.
Just for funsies.
Because he's looking good for the Libertarian fucking nomination.
Is he the one that wears a boot on his head?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to make sure I was thinking of the right person. So you have a mouse problem.
Yeah, so we called exterminators. They kind of put some the wire stuff that mice can't chew or get through, and so hopefully they will soon be dead. We have them coming, not the mice, but the exterminators coming back in a couple of weeks, and they're gonna assess the situation, and they have like a guarantee that will be, I don't know, guarantee you're mouse free.
If that's not their logo, it should be.
Yeah.
Or
It should be. Well, so hopefully we are mouse free at that point, and then not have to deal with because we knew we had some problems before, but they were down in the basement. They didn't come upstairs.
Right.
When they started coming upstairs is when we started having a problem.
Yeah.
And because they were, the proving drawer. You know what the proving drawer is?
No.
The place where you put your pans.
Oh, okay.
So it's like if you watch any of the Great British Baking Show, that's where you put your bread to prove that's any sort of warm area, and so the yeast can do its work and it can expand in size.
Right.
But what most Americans, and I think most people in general, use that drawer for is to store all their pans. So Becky had gone into that drawer and found that there was poop in that drawer on all the pans. We have washed every pan.
Yeah.
And then so we were like, okay, we need to not have poop on our pans.
Yeah, it's a good thing to not have feces.
So we've kind of cleaned out all the cabinets and whatnot, and in the ones we are more especially concerned that they might get in, we put like some mint tea bags in the backs because mice apparently don't like the smell of mint. So it'll make our silverware drawer extra minty.
It's always good to have some mint with everything you eat.
Yeah. So that's the fun stuff.
Okay, well,
I want to hear about the Shrek musical.
It's not Shrek.
No.
It was Seussical Junior the musical, or Seussical the musical Junior. I forget where the Junior goes.
Why does it have to be Junior?
Well, so people ask me this, and it is...
I am one of them.
So they do a condensed version of whatever show they are doing. They do Broadway shows, but they do the junior version because they're all in middle school, and they don't think in general that kids who are in middle school are going to be able to carry a 2-hour performance, or that anybody is going to want to sit for a 2-hour performance by middle schoolers. So they give the hour-long version.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah,
to everybody.
It's nice to
everybody that's gone to see. Well, actually, it could be quite a stellar performance.
Well, it could be. So my older daughter Kaylee was in it, and she'd been sort of toying with the idea of auditioning for one of these, basically since she got to the middle school. And she just, for one reason or another, just didn't do it. Last year, we went and saw their production of Alice in Wonderland, which was fine. And I think she saw, enough of her friends in it that put a bug in her ear that, this year I'm going to go ahead and audition. So she did. She was bummed to basically just get a part in the ensemble, which for Seussical involves the Jungle Creatures and the Who's. So are you familiar at all with I don't want to assume that you aren't. Are you familiar at all with the story of Seussical, the musical?
No.
Okay.
I'm not even going to try to pretend
okay.
Oh my God, it's one of my favorites.
How familiar are you with the works of Mr. Theodore Geisel, aka Dr. Seuss?
I've read the books as a child.
Okay.
I don't think I've revisited them as an adult.
Yeah. So I should say what I'm about to describe is the story as I saw it in Seussical Junior. I know there is another half of the story that's in the full-on version. But I don't know what that part is.
Is there like a scene where two children are hopping on pop?
There might be, but not in
the junior. Yeah. Okay.
So the general.
It's a 45-minute scene. It's just children jumping on a dad.
It's a performance piece.
Yeah.
No, so the general idea is it's centered around Horton, the elephant, Jojo, who is, if you recall from Horton Hears a Who, Jojo is the one shirker, the one who is not trying to save his world. When Horton hears, let me step back one second. You know Horton Hears a Who?
Yes.
Okay, so in Horton Hears a Who, an elephant.
Like I said, this is like a child. Yeah. I don't remember the.
I'm realizing I need to step back one step further than even I was.
You got to explain.
Yeah. So in Horton Hears a Who, there's an elephant and he hears voices.
Spoilers for Horton Hears a Who or Seussical Musical Junior.
Yes. He hears voices and he decides that those voices are coming from a dust speck that he's seen floating through the air. And that on this dust speck is a whole community of people called the Who's.
Are these the same Who's from Whoville?
Well, so in this musical, they say yes. Now, Dr. Seuss was not, I think, trying to create the Seuss cinematic universe in any way. He just happened to use a lot of the same words because he's a dude writing books that rhyme.
And are for children.
Yes. So Horton hears the Who's. He puts the little dust speck on a clover, and he decides he's going to protect them. But the rest of the jungle creatures, including a sour kangaroo, and the Wickersham brothers.
He's sour because he tastes sour, or is he sour because he's got a sour puss?
Yeah. There's a sourpuss kangaroo. I think, unless it's male kangaroos that carry the young. Anyway, there is a sour kangaroo and a kangaroo in her pouch who does nothing but say "me too," and
not hashtag me too.
Not hashtag me too. No. So anyway, the jungle creatures all want to take the flour and the dust speck that's on it away from Horton and boil it. And Horton's trying to convince them.
Why do they want to do this?
Because they think Horton's nuts and they're sick of him causing a commotion about people who don't exist. And eventually Horton shouts down.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about, with people who are trying to ram their religion down my throat.
Horton eventually shouts down to
so I'm with the jungle creatures
here. All right. Horton shouts down to the who's on the dust speck and says, you gotta make yourselves heard. And at the very end, when they still aren't being heard and they're about to be dunked in the bezelnut juice, Jojo is the last who isn't saying anything. And they find Jojo, they bring him up to the top of the Eiffelberg Tower, and he says, "Yup," and that saves the world, right? So that is Horton hears a who. Now that is one of the primary parts of the plot of Seussical Jr. The other is that there's a second Horton book out there that Dr. Seuss published called Horton Hatches the Egg.
Oh, I thought it was Horton gets his rectal exam.
Hold on.
Horton's colonoscopy exam.
No, so in Horton Hatches the Egg, Horton is recruited by a lazy bird named Maisie, who has been sitting on her egg for a while, to sit on her egg. So Horton,
do you think she became lazy because her name was Maisie?
Probably.
So if she just had a better name,
if she had a better name that rhymed with something else, she would.
What
not
about
be lazy.
what was it, Maisie Williams?
Maisie Williams. Yeah, I don't think she's lazy.
Not lazy. She does a lot of good work.
She does a lot of good work, and she
was on one of those Teens React videos.
She was in one of the carpool. One of the funniest. Was it Carpool Karaoke? I don't know. She was in one of those Apple TV shows early on, where she and what's her butt, the redheaded sister
Sansa.
Sansa.
I can't think of the name of the actress at the moment.
Yeah,
there's probably somebody yelling into the radio. Yeah, maybe it's my wife.
They were on. I think it was Carpool Karaoke. And they were doing impressions in the voice of Ned Stark, and one of the impressions that they did was of Sir Mix-a-Lot's seminal classic "Baby Got Back," and they made me roar with laughter. And still to this day, when I'm really depressed, I'll go find Maisie Williams and Sansa doing an impression of "Baby Got Back" in the voice of Ned Stark.
You know, they don't actually drive the car in Carpool Karaoke.
Spoilers.
And in movies too.
So Seussical, the other part of it is Horton hatches the egg. They cram that in there.
Into his butt.
They have the Grinch, because of course if these are the same who's, then the Grinch has to be around. They have Yertle the turtle.
Do they like zoom in onto these little who's and they're like, "I'm the Grinch"?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they have more sophisticated technology on Broadway, but they did not zoom into them on the McCarthy Middle School auditorium stage.
No, but like you could just get some actor with a big magnifying glass and you put it up to there, and then you close the
curtain, and
then you open it back up, and you're in Whoville.
Yeah, well. They were doing the abbreviated version, so really Whoville was kind of on one side.
That's
of the
in between acts, like, you know,
with no acts, no intermission. It's 1 hour. You're in and out.
All right, Jesus Christ.
Anyway, so
I'm like trying to develop a director's vision here.
Well, I'm sorry, you. I think you're not going to get hired for a junior musical. I think you got to just keep.
I got to get right into the
get right into it. Get right into that rectal exam.
Either that, or I should be directing on the big stage.
On the big stage.
Yeah, out on Broadway.
Yeah.
Despite my complete and utter just despising of musical theater.
Yeah. So anyway, with the bird, the other one that they bring in is there's a short story from one of Dr. Seuss's collections called Gertrude McFuzz, and Gertrude in this musical is the next door neighbor of Horton, the elephant, and Gertrude is in love with the elephant and trying to get him.
Is Gertrude also an elephant?
No, Gertrude is a bird with one droopy droop feather. And she wants more because she thinks more feathers will help her catch the attention of Horton. Now, that's different than in the actual story where she just wants to outshine another bird named Lala Lilu. But, we'll allow them that adaptation. So it's a mess of stories. I've always been interested in seeing things like this and Monty Python's Spam a Lot and these other ones where they... And I don't know which one came first. I want to say Mamma Mia, which was they took all of ABBA's songs and tried to make a story out of it.
And then they made a movie.
And then they made a movie out of it.
And then they made a second movie. Yes. Here we go again.
But I think on Broadway, Mamma Mia found a huge amount of success. And what Broadway realized was, we can recycle songs and story ideas that already exist and save ourselves a lot of time on development.
They did that Moving Out one for the Billy Joel.
But this Seuss one...
Then we don't have to write songs. We just have the songs.
Exactly. Now, the Seuss one didn't have songs, but the Seuss one had Dr. Seuss's rhyming, books. So they just took those and turned them into lyrics. So I get that it basically had the same appeal, I imagine, when they put it together. But
you get Lin-Manuel Miranda on there, and then you got a fucking hit.
Yeah. But and maybe the full version makes more sense. But this one really did feel like they were cramming, they're just cramming stuff in there.
Yeah. Like Star Wars Episode 9. Oh, Lando's her daughter. Lando's her father, I guess. Let's not talk about it.
Let's not talk about it. I love the movie, and I'm
so good.
I'm gonna watch it about every day when it comes out on digital.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a blast.
It will be because you'll be coming so much.
It's so good. So I mean, I don't have a ton to sort of. I mean, it's middle school kids, but I think the material.
I mean, how did your daughter do in the ensemble?
She did great. I mean, she was back there, being a part of it, not drawing attention outside of my attention because she's my kid. Mm-hmm. She's doing her job to sort of do the dance moves, do the whatever. Sing the parts to draw attention to the main part of the stage, which is a sort of a thankless job. As an aside, again, going back to my thing about how everything that could be awesome actually sucks. The Disney Corporation bought the rights to the film version of Hamilton, the musical, for $75 million.
Oh, cool!
Now I'm unsure about whether that they have already filmed a version with the original cast. Asterisk. I'll come back to that.
Is there someone who's dead?
No. But that's the part that apparently sucks and comes back to the point that it's what brings the tangent full circle. That little asterisk. So anyway, Disney buys the rights to Hamilton, the musical, the film version, for $75 million. They've already made a film version that's basically been sitting in the can since the original cast of the Broadway version started to not retire, but go off and do other things. I don't know if it also includes the rights to make Hamilton in the future as a full-on Hollywood movie. At any rate, so that people were excited about that, excited for Lin-Manuel Miranda to get that amount of money for what was a huge cultural thing. But then on the other side, in the department of everything that could be cool actually sucks. People were like, well, the version that they did doesn't actually include the whole original cast. Not all of the ensemble were there. And so that was what the internet, forever the downer of the universe, decided they were going to be pissed off about, was that, you know what, we have this amazing opportunity for people. Now, I know you hate Broadway, but to be able to see the Broadway show with the original cast and see that is not something that is within the price range of anybody, really.
Unless you go on like a Wednesday matinee and wait in a line and then get lucky too.
Even that, there was a thing called Ham for Ham where you stood outside and hoped to win a lottery to get tickets. So
did you have to have ham with you?
I don't think, maybe on some days, maybe that's how you won. Weird Al Yankovic did a Ham for Ham once where, anyway.
Well, him and Lin-Manuel are friends.
They are pals. Yeah. So anyway, so the fact that this musical could exist in a way that people who would never have had the money to go and see it on Broadway can see the original cast, that's a huge thing for a piece of musical theater. And maybe it sets a precedent that more productions do this so that teachers, people who want to use this sort of thing as an educational supplement, have that to turn to instead of somebody's snuck into the theater shaky cam, which is all that exists out there on the internet right now. Anyway, so my daughter's part of the ensemble. She didn't draw attention to herself. I thought she did a great job. I think some of the other kids, it's a middle school musical, and
you know what, Chris? That's not a fucking excuse, and we need to stop coddling these fucking kids.
Some of them couldn't sing. And there were.
How do you get cast in a singing part if you can't fucking sing?
I don't know. I mean,
who directed this piece of shit?
Not you, Steve.
Obviously not.
Not you. I mean, I'm not gonna shit on any particular kid.
I'm glad, because that would be horribly wrong.
Well, I had to say that out loud to myself because I sometimes start stumbling into saying things I shouldn't.
That you're going to shit on children.
No, I think there were certain parts that, I wonder, like, how did that person get cast?
You gotta grease
the
director's palms.
Might be a little bit of nepotism. Might be a case of there are a lot more girls who audition for these things than boys, so maybe some of the boys' parts are not featuring the best people. But even that's not an excuse, because the person who played Jojo, who is a boy in the story, in the musical, played by a girl. So they could have.
It's fine. We're in a society where gender is fluid right now.
They could have decided to cast somebody else of a different gender in some of the roles that I thought were.
They should have. I would have.
Yeah. But it was an enjoyable.
I mean, Peter Pan is often played by a woman.
Very often, almost never played by a man.
Yeah, except for, I guess, the voice actor from the cartoon.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I saw Peter Pan when we were walking by the Peter Pan line on my last day at Disney World, which we might get to talk about, but we'll see.
Okay. So letter grade. How was Seussical Musical Junior?
Do I get to give it like a couple of different? So it was a solid, for a middle school production, a solid A-.
What would IGN give it?
IGN would give it 1.5 stars.
Okay.
Because IGN probably. Well, I don't know. I don't know IGN enough to say whether they're mean.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's that they're mean. It's just that they usually review video games.
I know, when you said that, I was like, in my brain, IGN became IMDb, and I just answered it, and then I thought back. I was like, he said IGN. Yeah. Anyway, do they do stars? Do they do like video game controllers?
No, it's usually out of 10.
Out of 10. Oh, okay. Out of 10. They might give it like a 3.
A 3, okay.
3 or 4, yeah.
So in other words, IGN would say, and this is not you saying, it's a website that reviews video games. would say that this is not worth your fucking time.
Well, the production is already closed. It had 3 performances.
Oh, it's
all done.
So yeah, if someone recorded it, don't bother. Is what you're saying?
No, I mean, I'll bother. I think parents, people who saw it.
If you're flicking through the channels, because that's something people do anymore.
You're in the town of Chelmsford, and you see that, like, the Chelmsford Public Access playing Seussical the musical.
Was it a packed house?
It It was pretty crowded. I not every seat filled. But
Do they have concessions there?
They do. Yep.
Do they have one of the Coca-Cola machines that you love so well?
No, they did not. No.
Oh, okay. It was just flat
water,
flat
and
grape
juice
soda, and like
yeah, no.
and some home baked cookies that were
No,
baked,
I mean, they
baked
had,
a little bit too much.
They had candy bars and Cheez-Its and Doritos and stuff like that.
So nothing without carbs is what you're saying.
Good question. I didn't spend a lot of time at.
They don't have like a
concessions
nice
table.
little sack of almonds for somebody like me that doesn't want to fucking like have my day's worth of carbs in one small
I
snack.
don't know if they did.
We were
well because there's so many people with nut and tree nut allergies. So
well, we were at the store last night at the grocery store, and we picked up some things, and I was just kind of looking at some things that I used to enjoy, and just seeing how many of them that I could eat. And then I looked at like the double stuffed Oreos.
Oh, that sounds like a bad idea.
And the serving size is 2 cookies.
It's 2 cookies. Oh, I was gonna say, is it half a cookie?
No, it is 2.
It's 2.
You can have 2 whole cookies, but that would be those 2 cookies would be my entire day worth of carbs. In fact, I think a little bit more.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
For 2 cookies.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. I mean, you're talking double stuff. I made Oreos once. We probably
made
talked
them.
about that. Yeah. I found it. I don't know what possessed me. This was years and years ago at this point, but it was around Thanksgiving time.
You should watch the Claire Gourmet Makes Oreos. Those were one of the ones that turned out really good.
Are they like ones that you can eat?
No. It's just the Bon Appetit. The crew there. They're quickly developing as everyone's favorite on YouTube, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I think Claire and Brad are my favorites out of that crew. I mean, I don't know. Hey, email us at
hot at horribly off topic or hot at clarkwoods.com.
Yeah, send us an email. Who's your favorite Bon Appetit?
I didn't even know Bon Appetit was a thing.
You should be watching some Gourmet Makes with Claire. And
apparently
she's adorable.
I did not have any videos or whatever to work from at the time. This was if not pre-YouTube, it was very early YouTube. So I was working off of a typed up recipe, and it was a complete pain in the ass to make. But I did make a bunch of Oreos the night before Thanksgiving. I think I got to have maybe one of them before I...
Well, you didn't even get a full days of carbs then.
No, I got to have like one, and then I went to bed. I had been up so late that I woke up the next morning, and for whatever reason this year, that particular year, my in-laws came to our apartment, which almost never happened. We usually always went up to Maine, but they were at our apartment, and I woke up and all of the Oreos were gone. So they had eaten all of them while making Thanksgiving dinner, and there was nothing left. They said they were great.
Were they dippable? Did they dip them?
I do not think they dipped them. No.
Did you dip yours, the one you ate?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Chris!
I didn't know that Oreos are a thing. You're supposed to dip them in what, milk?
Yeah.
Oh, I never.
You get them to the right consistency of softness, but like they still have a little bit of crunch left to them.
Yeah.
So you don't want to like leave them in too
these
long.
Ones probably didn't have as much crunch as.
So you made whoopie pies.
I didn't. No, I did not make whoopie pies. I made them as close to. Well, you know what? The one I had probably was closer to a whoopie pie because I hadn't let it sit in the fridge overnight. The last step of it was.
Yeah, but the fridge isn't going to get it crispy.
The fridge hardened it up. Yeah, I don't know. They were good. They were a hit, and I
don't imagine they tasted bad, Chris. But I don't know. They need if you're going to make an Oreo, the cookie parts need to be crispy.
Okay, well I don't remember what they might have been crispy.
It needs to have a snap.
I think they did. I don't know. I can't remember. I got to eat one. I think they asked me to make them again once, and maybe I did, but that was like cider donuts. I had a cider donut recipe that I made a couple of times because everyone really, really liked them.
What happened to your career in baking, Chris?
I wanted to be an author. If you go back, my
no, I'm talking about as a passion. Do you bake anymore?
No,
you should bake.
I bake.
Do a YouTube show, Chris Bakes.
I don't have enough time. I am descended from bakers.
Well, I'm descended from candlestick makers.
No, there's some bakers. Joseph Leonard Baker, one of my great grandfather, something like that. Apparently an asshole, but you know.
Cool. Don't we all just become assholes when we get older? Start watching a fucking toxic news network and have our brains washed into thinking that, you know, all the other people are out to get us.
Yeah, that is exactly what you're supposed to do when you get older. I'm glad that you know the plan.
Yeah, well,
I haven't gone to those classes about how to become an asshole when you get older yet.
I guess that, you know,
maybe I don't need them.
Maybe we're not that old yet, despite being in our 40s.
Yeah. We got like 5 minutes left. I could, when we cram my whole vacation into 5 minutes.
Sure.
No, let's not do that. I eventually my vacation should get should not get short shrift. I think it's a very compelling, very interesting topic. We got as far as the airport last time, I think.
And you making it on the plane?
Yeah, no, I think we
didn't make whoopee on the plane.
We did not make whoopee on the plane. No.
No Mile High Club for you.
I was behind Steph, and there was a seat between us. So yeah, no whoopee on the plane.
Yeah, definitely not.
The kids both wanted window seats, and the pain in the ass was like we got them window seats because we thought we were going to be taking off in daylight, but our flight got delayed, so we took off at night, and them getting window seats ended up meaning nothing. They kept the windows closed the entire fucking time. And me,
they didn't look at like the lights of the city underneath.
They might have done that a couple of times, but not so much that it wouldn't have just made more sense for me to get a fucking aisle seat,
or the deep dark ocean that you might crash into.
Yeah. There was a lot. My Melody, my younger daughter, was terrified of everything that whole vacation, like including stuff like that. I don't know what they're fucking teaching her in school, but she's like, I want science class to be over because it's making me very scared. I don't know. She like worries. Well, and she apparently watched one episode of The Good Place. She watched a bunch of episodes of The Good Place. I don't know how Steph and Kaylee were watching it, and then Melody somehow found out where it was on the Netflix or whatever, and she started watching it on her own.
Yeah.
And she came to an episode where apparently like a sinkhole opened up, and then like she's been terrified about a sinkhole opening up in the earth pretty much ever since.
She's not terrified about, like
I don't think she
the
gets,
afterlife.
I don't think she totally gets the whole rest of the
In
concept
fact,
of the show.
Frozen yogurt is the thing that you have as a treat there.
Oh, is that?
Watch the goddamn Good Place. It's really good.
I would love
it
to
just
watch
ended and the finale was spectacular.
That's what I heard. So it satisfied you.
Yes. I would say it was extremely well written.
That's what I heard from
and not only that, and like everybody in the cast did a fantastic job for that final episode. So like
I would love to.
It was one of those bittersweet kind of things. It was really funny, but also really sad.
Yeah. Now, how many did it run for? 3-4 seasons? Four.
But they weren't like I think the last episode was around episode 50, so they weren't long seasons. Yeah. They weren't like classic 26 episode.
Right.
It's like after season 4, like if there was that, then they would have gone into syndication. But like I think the guy who created it was the same guy who did Parks and Rec.
Oh yeah.
And basically, I think what NBC did was like, okay, you can do whatever you want,
right?
And
that is a very great thing to be offered,
to be a creative and have that sort of freedom. And then guess what happens when you give creative people the freedom to do whatever the fuck they want? You get something as fantastic as The Good Place.
Speaking of, I don't know how good this will be or if it will be good at all. Did you see the big game trailer for Marvel's Disney Plus series?
I saw I think I saw it like I didn't hear it. I just saw it on like Twitter or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, it's a very.
It'll be something that we could watch on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I think it'll be. But this one I specifically was thinking of was WandaVision. It looks absolutely bananas, and I hope that it lives up to how bananas it looks, because it seems to be set in a variety of sitcom type realities set from the 50s to the 90s. So that commercial is so quick that it's hard to see, but there is a scene that's definitely set in each of those. And the 80s scene looks like it's set in the family room of Family Ties.
Do you think Mary Kate and Ashley know that their sister is more famous than them now?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if they know. They seem to like live in a little Mary Kate and Ashley bubble.
Okay.
You know, which like probably costs about $300 for tweens back in the day. I don't know if anybody actually bought it, but I'm sure they marketed that. They marketed everything. They were quite the savvy businesswomen. Those twins.
Remember the Doublemint ad?